Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the organization, for the invitation, and I hope more people join us during the lecture. I will talk about my first experience with the Vantage pipeline, my disclosures, and Vantage stand is the fourth generation of pipeline. In 2008, the first Medtronic launched the first pipeline, and then in 2014, they launched also the Pipeline Flex. They changed the delivery system, and also the Pipeline Flex. In this stent, they treat the surface of the stent in order to reduce the thrombogenicity. And now we have a new device, Pipeline Vantage, which really changed the stent completely. Okay, they also changed the delivery system, but this stent Vantage, it's a completely new stent. And I think this is remarkable because we need to understand the behavior and how it's worked. The idea behind Vantage is to create or to make a device which it's easier you can get to distal anatomy. This is why they also include in the portfolio the low profile 021 pipeline. They also optimized the braid design, and the idea behind all of that, it was to optimize the endothelialization. This is why they worked in the pore density, also they try to reduce the wall thickness of the stent, and also the stent have the shield technology, which brings more biocompatibility to the stent. One of the biggest change, if you compare Pipeline Flex with Vantage, is the wires. The wires are made with the DTF technique, the draw-field tube technique, in which the wire have an outer layer made with cobalt chromium in order to bring the straightness, and inside have a core of platinum in order to bring the visualization. The platform of 64027, it's made with 48 wires with this technology. The remaining wires are made just with cobalt chromium, and the low profile stent, the 48 pipeline wires, it's, sorry, the 21 pipeline, it's made with 48 wire, all with the technology with draw field tube. Also, they changed the pusher. I think this is a great achievement, especially in the 027. The pusher is wider compared with the predicate. With the Pipeline Flex is 023, and the pusher of the low profile stent is 018. They also reduce the thickness of the leads in order to improve the distal opening of the device. And regarding the pore density, in the platform of 2764 wires, they increased the pore density of the stent compared with the predicate, but also they reduced the thickness of the wire. The idea was to increase the pore density, but maintaining the metal surface coverage in the same range like the Pipeline Flex. This was our first experience with the device. We started to work with Medtronic from previously to the launch of the device, and we realized about the behavior of the stent and the performance of the stent. It's something completely different comparing with the predicate. In my opinion, to understand how to manage the device, you have to avoid to overload the stent when you are delivering. You have to avoid to flattering the stent in the external curve of the artery. I think you have to work with a two-step below tension in the whole system when you deliver the device. And it's a little bit different if you compare with the Pipeline Shield. Of course, you have to follow the rules. It's not a good idea to open the device in this location, but you can see, if you compare the behavior of Vantage and Pipeline Flex, it's different. It's not well open Vantage, but I really believe that they improve the performance a lot with this new technique. If you put face-to-face the devices, in my opinion, Vantage, the navigability, it's better, have a faster distal opening, and what I said, because the navigability is better, the tension of the system is low if you compare with the predicate when you start the deployment. And regarding visualization, they improve the visualization in the cone beam CT. In the fluoroscopy, still have to improve a little bit. Okay? This is a picture you can see, despite there is a lot of curves, the distal tip of the catheter is completely not stuck, but without any kind of movement. This is a good sign of that the navigability is good. Also, you can see in these two cases, even the starting deployment is not in a good place. You can see it's well open, the stent, and this is something different and better compared with the previous generation. Also, it's cobalt chromium. It's made with cobalt chromium, but have an adaptability. It's not like nitinol, but in my opinion, it's like in the middle way between cobalt chromium and nitinol. You can adapt the stent, pushing and playing a little bit when you are facing the neck of the aneurysm. And this is why you can see the assessment using the cone beam CT. I think it's great. It's easy to understand what happened, the wall position and the relation with the neck, or the structure of the neck, with the cone beam CT. Let's see this case is a PCOM aneurysm. Usually in this case we don't use flow diversion, but pay attention in the picture. You can see when we pass the neck of the level, we push a little bit, we inflate the device a little bit there, and in the runs, you can see the stagnation of the blood a little bit inside the aneurysm. This is the cone beam CT, and in the follow-up, the aneurysm was gone. This was the first case that we performed in Europe with Pipeline, Vantage, and you can see it's a relative tortuous anatomy, and the oldest size of the stent that we have, it was the 4.5 Vantage. We started the deployment, any issue, but when we finished, we realized that they would need something bigger. And we decided to put another pipe, Pipeline Flex 5 millimeters, and it was almost impossible to open. After several maneuvers, this was the final result. This is the Vantage and the shield. We inflate a little bit, and this was the final result. It was impossible to achieve a good apposition of the shield. This was the first case that we used the low profile. This was a dissected aneurysm of MCA. The income of the patient, the indication when the patient arrived to emergency was ischemic symptoms. We decided to treat with double antiaggregation, but during the hospitalization, the aneurysm grew up a little bit, and we decided to treat. And this was the first case that we used 021. This was the result, easy, it's very user-friendly device. The ischemic lesion, it's previously to the treatment, and this is the follow-up after 6 months, I think so, or 1 month after the treatment. This is a ICOM aneurysm using 021 also. This was our first acute case. It was a cave aneurysm. It was an easy treatment, but it was the first time that we used in acute stage of the aneurysm. This is another case of paraphthalmic aneurysm. You can see there. It was easy, the treatment, cavernous aneurysm, sorry, no issue. And I really believe that this kind of stent is a step forward compared with the previous generation, because it's extremely or very user-friendly device. And this was the follow-up. This is another case, a recognition aneurysm. We use wrist system by radial access. we are using more and more the radial access to treat elective aneurysm. It's relatively easy to achieve the localization, even you are facing a tortuous anatomy with the wrist. And we are using a lot also the Phenom Plus with Phenom 27. We play with both. Phenom Plus it's intermediate catheter, but we use like a really distal support catheter. This is another aneurysm, ophthalmic aneurysm. To pass, we have to go inside, inside the aneurysm, and we lose a lot of curves inside. But then we pass a stent retriever with strictness of the system. And here you can see, again, we went distal of the aneurysm with the Phenom Plus. And many times we are concerned about the stability. We work together with the Phenom Plus and O27 in order to, you can see there, to find the best opening of the device. Also, we add some coils. In this case, in the follow-up of 6 months, the patient still had intrasaccular flow, and we decided to treat with the flow diversion. With another Vantage. Another indication of the label that we use this kind of stent, especially the biggest one, it's in dissection when we face a patient with acute ischemic symptom, like and come from thrombectomy, for example, and we need to treat the dissected carotid artery. Of course, we have to allow to use antiplatelet therapy. But we started to use this strategy, not in all the cases, when we are facing very banded artery with a huge amount of clot. And the long 6x50, it's very easy. You start where you think the artery it's a normal artery, and then you start the deployment. And then you come back with the balloon and you perform the angioplasty. You change a little bit the strategy. First you deploy the stent, and then you come with the balloon. The idea is to scaffold all the artery and the clot, and then perform the angioplasty, not to be so aggressive. We share our experience in 12 cases with this strategy. And regarding, coming back to the aneurysm, this is the average size of the aneurysm that we have treated with Vantage, and 57 aneurysm, and you can see there the numbers, the complication numbers on the follow-ups. It's quite similar like other publications. We have 2 immediately complications, one acute occlusion of the anterior choroidal artery and also subarachnoid hemorrhage. And during the follow-up, we found we are talking about 38 patients, we found just one symptomatic stenosis and one stent occlusion. Also, we have to treat in acute state the stent occlusion. We achieved the recanalization, but the patient now is with an issue of 2. And also we have now occlusion of the ophthalmic artery, but completely asymptomatic. And regarding the publication, they have 2 or 3 publications, but this was the first experience published with Vantage. And something that I like to highlight is the physician that we were involved in the study. They found that the performance of the stent was better compared with the predicate. In that case, the predicate was the Pipeline Flex. And in conclusion, really believe the behavior of both platforms are quite good. I really like it. And I think the more remarkable thing is you work with less tension compared with other devices. And the behavior, it's in the middle, it's in between the nitinol stent and normal cobalt chromium devices, which is something that I like because the adaptability of the stent is good, and I think very confident to use it. And I think it's a great achievement, the O21. Thank you.